Okay, welcome everybody. Glad that worked. Let me just check I'm all set up. Lovely. Okay, so let's just begin by arriving. I include myself in this. When there's a bit of stress off the mat that brings you to the mat, it's good to just drop into a grounding practice. So just be seated. Just feel your seat. Feel your legs, your pelvis. And just notice what your spine's doing. So I noticed, because I was a little bit agitated about technology failing me, there's a tension in my body that's showing in how I'm sitting. So I'm kind of I'm leaning forward and lifting my tailbone away from the earth. So I'm just dropping anchor, just allowing that tailbone to drop. And just to discharge any stress and tension, just bringing the shoulders up to the ears, pressing them back and down. And connecting to our breath. So in a way, it's a good experience for me to begin the class with a stressful moment, to just see what tools we can use to just discharge that as swiftly and efficiently as possible. There's nothing better than a few slow, deep breaths to kind of wipe the slate clean, energetically wipe the slate clean, put ourselves straight away into a new energy. Some deep breaths, power of a conscious breath to change your energy. So take a few more slow, deep breaths. Adopt Ujjayi breath if you know it. If you're not sure what I mean by that, just a reminder, the Ujjayi breath is where we activate the throat muscles as if we were whispering. Kind of sound, the activation of the muscles compresses the throat or the esophagus. Do I mean the esophagus? No, the trachea. And this means we can control the breath more. So there should be a kind of audible sound to your breath, and you should feel the breath in your throat. And this contraction of the throat muscles creates a kind of filter. We filter the air through this narrowing of the air passage. And it's a very detoxifying, calming breath. Do around 5 more slow, deep, conscious breaths. A way to anchor the mind on the present. Letting go what's come before, just letting it go. Bringing ourselves to the here and the now. Just breath and body. And then at the end of your next exhale, you can close the eyes. And let's just very gently bring some movement into the body. Just have your hands on your knees a little bit. And we'll cat-cow seated. So just inhale, draw the shoulders back and look up and arch the spine. Exhale, kind of press or hold the knees as you stretch the spine back, chin to the chest. Moving back and forth with the breath. Synchronizing breath and movement. And like we do on our hands and knees, we start the movement in our tailbone, our pelvis, and we finish the movement with our head and neck. Just completing the round you're on, or if you've just started, just do a whole round. So we end on an exhale. And we come back to neutral. And then we're going to circle from the pelvis. So we're still cat-cowing the spine, but this time we're taking ourselves out to the side as well. So we're inhaling into the cow, coming out to the side, exhaling into the cat, just as we did before, and coming out to the other side. Inhaling to the cow. Again, we're initiating the movement with the pelvis and finishing with the head. So just really drop your awareness into your pelvis here and feel how you're moving around the rim of the pelvis. You're moving to the back of the pelvis, the left sit bone or the right sit bone. Hey Rosa, nice to see you. Long time no see. And to the opposite sit bone. So we're rolling around the rim of the pelvis and then change direction. But we're not forgetting the rest of the body. So even though the pelvis is directing the movement, the rest of the spine, including the head and the neck, follows. Try and synchronize breath a little bit as if we're just cat-cowing, but adding an extra dimension side to side. And then slowly coming back to the center. And just take a couple of breaths, just breathe that through. Centering, grounding, connecting to your breath. Coming back to Ujjayi breath. And then start to take the hands forward. So just walk the hands as far forward as feels good for you. Drop the head between the upper arms. Forehead towards the floor. And breathe into the back of the body. Can you hear me, Rosa? Yeah, cool. Slow, deep breaths. Feel, again, the base of your pelvis on the floor. Grounding us, rooting us down. So we know where we are. Sounds simple. Sometimes we can lose ourselves in the chaos and drama of the day. So just feeling right where you are, in your body, in your breath. Slowly bring yourself back up to neutral. Lifting up through the spine. Hands to the sides, and inhale, take the hands up. Interlace the fingers, stretch up, drop down through the pelvis, reach up through the palms here, and just take a few breaths here, feeling that full stretch. The shoulders are drawing down away from the ears. And we're going to twist. So exhale, twist to the left. It's not going to be a big twist. Keep stretching up through the palms. Keep the upper arms in line with the ears. Breathe. Ujjayi breath if you can. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, twist to the right. Keeping the upper arms in line with the ears. And bringing out the spine like a towel. Inhale to the center. Exhale, release the left hand down. Come over to the left with the right hand. Side stretch here. Again, keep the rim of the pelvis on the floor. We're just really connected to that with the circling. So feel your right sit bone rooting as much as your left, or connecting to the earth. And then inhale, taking it back up. Just bring the right hand straight down. Inhale, stretch up through the left. Exhale, leaning over to the right. Breathing into the left side, keeping the left buttock down on the floor, pressing through the right hand to help with that. And inhale, coming up, leading with that left hand. Swap your legs over, right ankle in front of the, swap, whatever, right ankle for me. Just put the other leg in front, start to walk your hands forward. Same as before. Probably a different sensation in the hips. Be mindful, be gentle. And then come to your breath. Find that audible Ujjayi breath if you can. And one of the many benefits of Ujjayi breath is we have an audible anchor to kind of hook the mind onto. The mind can listen to the sound of breath as well as feel it in the body. And if you don't know Ujjayi, just breathing slow, deep, conscious breaths through the nose. And slowly walk the hands back in. Just to continue with kind of more grounding postures, we'll just come down onto the floor. Have a strap handy. So just from here, we're just going to move with the breath. So take your arms overhead, come into a full body stretch. We're just going to do a really simple vinyasa. So inhale at full stretch. Exhale, draw the right knee in, hands come forward, and we hug that knee in. But then we release and inhale, stretch everything back out again. Exhale, the left knee comes in, hands come forward, squeeze. Inhale, release the left leg, full body stretch, arms overhead. Exhale, repeat. And just keep going side to side. Maybe each round the body opens a tiny bit more without force. But really, repetition, simple moves in repetition can be a really nice way to gently open the body. Move with the breath. Now, next time your right knee comes in, we're going to pause. So next time the right knee comes to the chest, again, hug it in, and this time pause. And if it feels comfortable in your back, just keep the left leg extended, pushing out through the left heel. If it pinches your lower back, just bend that left knee. Okay, hugging it in. We're squeezing the right thigh in towards the right side of the chest and belly. The ascending, I can't remember if it's ascending or descending, but one side of the kind of large intestines being kind of compressed here. I have a feeling it might be the descending. I can't remember. Slow, deep breaths. That left leg still active. And then we're going to extend that leg up. So this is where you'll need your strap. If you don't have a strap, just hold the back of the leg, no problem. We'll use anything else that you've got that will work, something long. Take it around the widest part of the right foot. Keep a bend in the knee if you need, no problem. But otherwise, just drawing that right foot towards the face, opening the back of the knee as much as is appropriate for you, and trying to keep the right foot active and the left foot. Toes to the shin. Breathe into any intensity you feel, maybe around the back of the ankle, the lower calf, maybe in the thigh, the back of the knee. Breathing into that. Slow, deep breaths, ujjayi breath. Relaxing the shoulders and the face. So we're kind of focusing on grounding. So feel your sacrum and your shoulder blades connecting with the floor. You might feel like you're leaning over to the right a little bit, and the right side of the sacrum is more grounded than the left. If so, see if you can centralize and feel both sit bones or both bony points at the back of the pelvis equally rooting down, sacrum even. And then we're going to hold both ends of the strap in the right hand. Use your left hand to just gently press the left thigh as we take the right leg out to the side, trying to keep the left thigh and buttock down towards the floor, keeping the foot flexed. Wonderful. And then inhale, bring that leg back to the center. Rosa, take a few more breaths if you wish. And then swap the arms and just gently start to take it over to the left. So your left hand's holding the strap now. We're rolling with it. So we're allowing the left leg to be passive now as the right leg moves over to the left. Listen to your back. If you need to bend the knee or don't go as far, but just listen to your back. If there's any complaints, come back a bit, bend the knee. Support your right leg with something if you need. I like to have my left elbow on the floor as my prop here. Breathe deep into the outer seam of the right leg. We're still pushing out through the heel if we can, and the ball of the right foot. And draw your lower belly back to the spine. Bring yourself back to the center. And just before we lose the strap, just draw some circles on the ceiling with your heel. So you can start quite small, so really flex the foot and feel like your heel is like painting a circle. But just gradually getting a little bit wider with the circles, and notice that this is getting into the hip. So we're exploring the range of mobility into the hip. You might get quite big and expressive. You might feel like you're rolling around on the sacrum bit. This is fine. And then change direction, starting as big as you got on the other side, and this time gradually kind of circling into the small circles. So we just kind of go in reverse. And then from here, come back to the center. Maybe just take 2 or 3 more breaths back in that first position, noticing if there's any extra sense of openness, space at the back of the knee. Deep breaths. Then release the strap, bend the knee, hold behind the back of the knee. So we're just going to do the same to the other joints of the leg that we just did to the hip. So we want to take the foot into its full, into circles. There won't be circles, they'll be like more like a wide sausage shape, but we want to not move the thigh and the hip. So your right hand is kind of stabilizing the right thigh so that we work the knee joint. So the foot's painting the circles, but it's the knee joint that's being mobilized here. It's going to be really hard to not let the hip get involved. The hip's going to want to lead because the hip's way more mobile, and the thigh is going to want to get involved. But as best you can, just stick to the lower leg and foot. Change direction. Notice the range of movement. There's much more for most of us movement internally and then externally. This is just the way the knee works. It can move towards the center line more than it can move away from the center line. And get a little clue of how the knee works. Mostly the knee just goes back and forth, up and down. It does have a tiny bit of lateral movement that you might be seeing here. Okay, and then just hug. You can keep hugging the back of the knee or the front of the shin this time. Draw that knee back into the chest like we did at the start and circle the ankle. And again, we want to isolate the movement into the ankle. You can even take your hands further down the lower leg to just above that ankle to again just try to encourage the isolation in the ankle, because again the lower leg's probably going to want to get involved, and change direction. But you'll see the ankle's got a lot more mobility than the knee, almost as much as the hip, but not quite. And don't worry about any clicks and plonks, it's very normal. And then release. And just take a full body stretch, just let that right leg go. Full body stretch, maybe interlacing the hands behind the back, behind your head rather, stretching the palms away. Push the lower back into the floor a little bit so you can engage with your front core, front body core. And then on your next exhale, draw the left knee in. I'm just going to repeat that sequence on this side. So hugging that left knee into the other side of the large colon. So it's really good kind of internal massage here as we're squeezing the knee in towards the side of the belly and chest. It's not going to be available for all of us. And as best we can, pushing out through that right heel, toes to the shin, relaxing everything else, the face, the shoulders. Deep breaths. And then from here, find your strap again, take it around the left side, the left foot, around the widest part of the left foot, holding the strap ends loosely with both hands so we don't over grip, pushing out through that right heel, anchoring down through the right heel and the back of the right leg and buttock, unless we need to bend that knee. Finding your edge, breathing into your edge. Nice to see we have a new generation of yoga students with us this evening, probably the youngest student I've ever had in my class. That's great. Never too early to start yoga. Slow, deep breath. Okay, we're going to come out to the side, so holding both ends of the strap in the left hand, just allowing the left leg to drop out to the left, but keep that right leg anchored. So you can use your right hand to encourage that pressing on the thigh or maybe the hip bone. Keep the left foot flexed. And if you find that you've rolled so far that your right buttock comes off the floor, just come back a bit. You might feel like you're not stretching as much, but you're actually stretching the same, but more effectively. So you'll press the right buttock down and your left leg will come a bit higher, but you're actually still getting the same angle of stretch, but from a grounded central kind of foundation. Relax the face, ujjayi breath. And inhale to bring that leg back to the center, swap the hands, and just go easy with this version, this way round. We take the left foot over to the right and we allow the right leg to roll with it. Quite a strong twist for the lower back, potentially. So if you've got any issues in your lower back, just be careful here. Bending that left knee if you need. Can feel nice to extend the left arm in the opposite direction to open up that left chest area and shoulder. Flexing the left foot to really feel it in the outer calf, outer knee, outer ankle. Can feel quite intense. This is a good thing. Breathing deep. And then draw your lower belly back to the spine as we inhale, come back to the center. And again, we're just going to develop those circles, so mobilizing the hip joint. So just start small, really flexing the left foot so it feels like your heel is the highest point that's drawing on the circle. Drawing circles on the ceiling. And maybe just slowly exploring more expansive, bigger circles, feeling the hip really involved in this. So it's like we want to feel like we're lubricating, warming up the hip joint, warming up the synovial fluid that surrounds the hip joint, so it can, just get fresh energy, fresh blood flow. And then change direction against reversing. So starting big as you were going in the other direction, and then gradually at about the same pace, spiraling closer to the center. Smaller and smaller circles. Coming back to the center, just 2 or 3 more deep breaths with the hamstring stretch, feeling your sacrum and shoulder blades connecting you to the earth and the back of your head. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling much more grounded now. Something about lying on the floor. Okay, and then release that leg, bend the knee, hold the back of the knee. So I've got my thumbs firmly kind of pressing into the thigh. I'm really kind of holding my left thigh quite firmly to try to stabilize it and immobilize it as I then start to move the foot in, well, as close to a circle as it's going to be. It's not going to be anywhere near a circle. A fat sausage, a thin oval. And just notice how the knee has great mobility back and forth again, but just a little bit side to side. And it's the side to side that the hip's going to want to help in particular. Change direction if you haven't already. And then release that ankle to the buttock, hold the back of the knee or the front of the knee and circle that ankle. Or again, maybe you want to hold lower down the leg, just above the ankle, just to try and again use your hands to stabilize and mobilize. This time the lower leg. And explore maximum range of motion in your left foot and change direction. Try and take it all the way out to each side, all the way flexed, all the way pointed. when you do these kind of joint mobilizations, effectively you should feel like a muscle fatigue after not too long actually. And then release that left leg down, take that full body stretch again, arms overhead, interlacing the fingers, check you're centrally aligned, and just allow both legs to come up, come into a happy baby. Knees towards the armpits, holding the feet or the ankles or the backs of the knees. And then bringing the knees together, just give yourself a hug. Maybe a little rock, maybe stillness. If you're feeling a bit ungrounded, scattered, then stillness can feel good. But sometimes again, rocking or circling on the sacrum can feel really lovely. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're just going to roll to one side. We're going to meet in a kneeling position towards the back of the mat. So we're just kind of building up gently, gradually. We've just passed the new moon. The new moon was Saturday. So we're still kind of in that new moon energy. I'm definitely feeling that. So we'll start with moon salutations and gradually build up from there. So one breath, one movement, like a moving meditation. So just bring your hands onto your thighs. Connect to your breath. We'll just go straight into it. Okay, so take a deep inhale here. And exhale here. Take another inhale, you can use your eye breath. This time exhale, slide the hands forward, head to the floor for child's pose. Inhale, come up to hands and knees. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Inhale, knees down, tabletop. Exhale, back to child's pose, hips on the heels, head to the floor. Inhale, come to a high kneel, hands on the hips. Exhale, we push the hips forward, lift the chest, look up, back bend. Inhale, back to vertical. Exhale, hands on the thighs, use your thigh muscles to sink the hips back down. And that's one round. Inhaling. Exhaling, hands forward, dropping the head, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop, hands and knees. Exhale, toes tuck under, downward dog. Inhale, knees down, stretch the toe joints here. Exhale, come onto the tops of the feet, hips to the heels, child's pose. Inhale, high kneel, hands on the hips. Exhale, hips forward, lift the chest, and back bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, hips to the heels, all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, knees down, tabletop, stretch the toe joint. Exhale, come onto the top of the feet, hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, high kneel, hands to hips. Exhale, back bend, really lift the space behind the heart. Inhale, vertical. Exhale, down. And we'll do 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Feel the body opening with each round. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, back to tabletop. Enjoy that toe stretch. Exhale, tops of the feet, hips to heels, child's pose. Head down. Inhale, high kneel. Exhale, back bend. Be slightly deeper. Inhale, vertical. Exhale, kneel. And last round. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, high kneel. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, vertical. Exhale. Beautiful. That's the breath. So we'll just do 3 rounds of moon salutation B, exactly the same, but we just put a low lunge in on each side. Again, we'll just go straight into it. So let's coordinate breath again. So inhale here, exhale here. And this time we begin. Inhale here, exhale child's pose. Inhale tabletop, exhale downward dog. Now it changes. Inhale, look forward, step the left foot between the hands. Exhale, release the right knee down and sink the hips. Inhale, raise the hands. Crescent moon. Exhale, release the hands back down. Tuck the back toe under. Inhale, left foot joins right, but we keep the heels lifted. Exhale, we sink the heels down, just that. Inhale, we look forward and step the right foot or bring the right foot between the hands. Exhale, we lower the left knee. Inhale, raise the hands, crescent moon, squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Exhale, release the hands down. If you haven't already, tuck the back toe under. Inhale, right foot joins left, keep those heels lifted high. Exhale, slowly sink the heels towards the floor. This time, inhale, bring the knees down, stretching the toes. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale to the high kneel, hands on the hips. Exhale, take that little back bend, lifting the chest. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hips down. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, toes tuck, downward dog. Inhale, look forward, step or bring left foot forward. Exhale, release right knee down and sink the hips. Inhale, raise the hands, look up. Exhale, release the hands back down. Tuck that back toe. Inhale, left foot joins right, keep the heels lifted. Exhale, sink the heels down, keeping the hips high. Inhale, knees down for tabletop. Oh no, have we done both sides? Do we need, okay. Sorry. Okay, so look forward this time. Left foot forward, is that right? Totally lost the plot. Right foot forward. Thanks, Miriam. Knees to left foot down, left knee down. Inhale, raise the hands, look up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, right foot joins left, keep the heels lifted. Exhale, sink the heel. Inhale, knees down for tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, high kneel, hands on the hips. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, vertical. Exhale, down. Glad you guys know what's going on. 1 more round. Inhale here. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right knee down. Sink the hips. Inhale, raise the hands. Exhale, hands down. Tuck the back toe. Inhale, left foot joins right. Heels stay lifted. Exhale, sink those heels down. Inhale, look forward. Right foot between the hands. Exhale, left knee sinks, lower the hips. Inhale, raise the hands. Crescent moon. Exhale, release the hands down. Tuck the back toe. Inhale, right joins left, heels high. Exhale, sink the heels. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Last back bend. Inhale, high kneel, hands on the hips. Exhale, hips forward, lift the chest, maybe a little bit deeper. Inhale, vertical. Exhale, down. And just pause here for a few breaths. The classic meditation posture, Vajrasana. Hands on the thighs, closing the eyes, just noticing how you feel. These moving meditations can be excellent for clearing a busy mind. Concentrate on your breath. Ujjayi breath again, if you know it. Find the audible quality to the breath. Even if you're not doing Ujjayi, you can still probably hear your breath. Just build up intensity a little bit, just gradually. We're doing a little bit more of a shallow mountain this week. Okay, so come back to tabletop, tuck the toes and find your downward dog. Looking back towards the feet, this time we're going to stay for a few breaths. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, allow the posture to develop with your breaths here, bending the knees if you need. Connecting to your deep core muscles, lifting up the lower belly up to the spine, drawing up on the center of the pelvic floor to meet that activation of the lower belly. It's like those 2 points meet, and we're deep in the pelvic bowl. And then from here, we're going to look forward and step the right foot forward first and just come to a low lunge. So your right knee's above the ankle, staying on the ball of the back foot. Personally, I like to kind of glide forward and backwards a little bit here just to lubricate the hip and stretch my left toe joint. That may or may not work for you. Take your left hand to the floor underneath the shoulder and just bring your right hand onto your right hip for a moment, looking over your right shoulder, very strong in the back leg. If it feels okay, reach the right hand up. Press down through the left hand as you reach up through the right hand. And then we're going to exhale to bring the right hand down to the outside of the right foot. Try to keep the hips facing the floor, so nothing really moves in the lower body. We just bring the left hand up. Looking up to the left hand. Exhale, release the right hand down. And then just from here, straighten the right leg. You might want to come onto the heel, toes to the shin and drop the head. You might need to walk the hands backwards. You might need to use blocks. And then from here, release that right foot back down. Your choice, just step straight back to downward dog or child's pose, or come to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to back bend. Exhale to downward dog. So optional vinyasas as always. And we meet in either child's pose or downward dog. Keeping our kind of grounding theme. So always being aware of your anchor points. In this case, it's the hands, the feet. So just being aware of the contact between your hands and your feet to the floor is innately grounding, inherently grounding. Breathe deep. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring that left foot forward between the hands. So come to the knees if you need and bring it forward. Just establish the low lunge first, so we're on the ball of the back foot. Again, optional to just do that kind of gliding back and forwards. This may or may not work for you. It's something I seem to naturally do. And then bringing the right hand underneath your shoulder, using a block if you need. Start with the left hand on the hip. So you can really draw that left shoulder back, the whole shoulder girdle back, and then maybe reaching the left hand up. And then find the connection between pushing down through the right hand and reaching up through the left fingertips. Feel the right thigh strong, draw up on the kneecap. Breathe. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the outside of the left foot. Again, try not to move the lower body, just twisting in the upper body, take the right hand up. So we try to keep both hip bones pointing down more or less towards the floor, including the right hip bone. Strong back leg. Exhale, release the right hand down. And again, you might need to move the hands back, but come onto the heel of that left foot, straighten the left leg as much as you can here, and drop the head so you're kind of folding over that front leg for a hamstring stretch. Doesn't matter if the back heel is off the floor. Bring the sole of the left foot down, plant the hands, come straight back to child's pose or downward dog or plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Pausing in downward dog or child's pose. Deep breaths. And then at the end of your next exhale, look forward and once again, step the right foot forward or bring the right foot forward, but this time just swap the right hand and the foot. So both hands now on the inside of that right foot. Back leg is super strong, or if you're feeling tired, you can bring the back knee down. We're going to come into the lizard stretch. So we stay here, or if there's more space, we take the hands forward. Maybe we start to bend the arms. Maybe we even bring the elbows down to the floor or onto a block. Don't force, but just explore. Try to keep some extension in the spine. So it's very easy to contract and look back to your feet and arch the upper back here. But instead, see if you can keep the neutral spine looking kind of forward or between the hands, in front of the hands, to keep the neck long. You feel the knees up, back knees off the floor, super strong in that back leg. One more breath. And then if you're on the elbows, press back up to the hands, swap the right hand and the foot over again, and just bring that left knee down. Once again, just drop into the crescent moon. Start with the fingertips on the floor, drawing the shoulders back, opening the chest. And then maybe climbing the hands onto the thigh and pressing to open that front hip flexor. And then maybe inhaling to take the hands up. This time we're going to stay for a few breaths, squeezing the inner thighs together, drawing the lower belly in. Not collapsing into the lower back. Exhale, release the hands down. And again, a hamstring stretch, coming onto the heel of the right foot, toes to the shin, walking the hands back, folding over that front leg. So similar feeling to the other hamstring stretch we did. Just check. Often in this posture, the left hip swings out to the left. Bring it back so it's in line with the left knee. And the right hip's kind of behind the right ankle, right toes pointing up to the ceiling. And bring the sole of the foot down, plant the hands, downward dog, child's pose, or again, scoot right leg back to join left of the plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, upward dog, looking up. Exhale, downward dog. Optional. Just establish your downward dog or your child's pose. In between sides. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward, bring that left foot between the hands, and then immediately swap left hand and foot, so both hands inside your left foot. Right knee can be on the floor, otherwise super strong, drawing the heel back. And then again, drop the chin and the chest down towards the floor. And some of you, that might mean taking the hands forward, bending the arms, bringing the elbows down or towards the floor. So just go as far as is right for your body. And breathe. When you get to your edge here, keep that extension in the neck and the upper back, looking kind of at least between the hands, maybe even in front of the hands. Try not to look behind. Try not to look back towards your back foot. One more breath. If you're on the elbows, when you're ready, come back up to the hands. Swap the left hand and the foot over. Release the right knee to the floor. Sink the hips. Just take a breath here with the fingertips on the floor, drawing the shoulders back, opening the chest. Stay here or climb the hands onto the thigh. Just press through the hands to try and straighten the arms, lifting through the spine. And then maybe from here, extending the arms up, looking up. Integrity in the lower body, squeezing the inner thighs, drawing the lower belly in. One more breath. Exhale, release the hands down. Find that hamstring stretch again. Coming onto the heel of the left foot, walking the hands back, folding over that front shin. Again, check where your hips have gone, possibly swung out to the right. Bring the right hip back in line with the right knee. Left hip behind left heel. Left toes pointing straight up to the ceiling. And then optional vinyasa, sole of the foot down, plant the hands, meet us in downward dog or child's pose, or move through your vinyasa with the breath. Keeping that ujjayi breath going if you can, that audible quality, that throat activation. Returning to downward dog or child's pose, taking some breaths, feeling your foundations. Where are your anchors? Awareness in your foundations. Feel your body, where it is in the infinite space and time, infinite space of the universe. Just start to really feel your body located here, right now. And then from here, we're going to look forward and we're going to come to the Malasana squat. So if you can just step one foot forward, then the other, to about mat distance apart, probably toes pointing out, and drop the hips and come straight into the last step. If that doesn't work for you, you need to be higher, and just bring the elbows onto the thighs. Just our fingertips can be on the floor or palms together, using your elbows to press the inner thighs, lifting through the spine, opening the chest, maybe closing the eyes. Where are your anchors here? So this is an interesting one. Your physical anchors are your feet, the only thing touching the floor, kind of spread and open the soles of the feet. But for me, there's always like a kind of more invisible, energetic anchor that's like dropping from the base of my tailbone to the earth. It's so close to the earth that I feel like it's like an extra invisible connection point. Breathe. And then from here, just bring the hands down, lean forward slightly and press through the feet to bring yourself up to a forward fold, walking the feet in to hip distance apart, and just hug the opposite, hold the opposite elbow, or let the arms dangle, or hold your feet, whatever feels good. So I'm really feeling to keep quite low to the ground this evening. So I think this might be as high up as we get. So just enjoy this feeling of the legs being totally straight, but allow the upper body to just surrender to gravity, top of the head being drawn down, neck long, elbow tips being drawn towards the floor. Okay, so I always like to put a balance in, but I don't really feel to come up to standing. So bring the hands to the floor, walk the feet together again, and bend the knees and come to a squat. So as you squat down, you're probably going to have to lift the heels. Most people will. This time the knees are together. So we're in a deep squat, and we're on the balls of the feet, and we bring the hands onto the thighs. So this is like a tricky balance, potentially a deceptive balance. If we can, we bring the hands together at the center of the chest. And we try not to overarch in the low back. So often when we first come in, we're quite arched, but we see if we can drop the tailbone. Try to keep the knees together, the inner knees touching or inner thighs touching, and try to lift the heels as high as possible. You'll probably find lots of little micro adjustments going on in the feet and the ankles. Yeah, it's quite normal to kind of lose it for a bit and come back in. Normal, but just for a moment, you might just find a still point. This is also super good for strengthening and opening the feet, especially if we really try and lift those heels high. Okay, optional extra little challenge here. If you can, we're going to bring the heels down. This isn't going to work for everyone. In fact, it doesn't work for me, because some people I know come from here with the heels down. I'm going to try. I've got to keep my arms outstretched, but we can see if we can lift the left leg out in front of us. This isn't going to work for everyone, but I did manage it. It's very easy to pull back, but you can also do it on your toes, but it's much trickier to balance. But we can have a go, and if we fall, it's fine, or maybe we just start to explore for a moment, and if we fall, we're not going to fall far. Okay, and we can try the other side. So come back into your squat. Great, Amy. Really using the arms in front helps. So if you can, if the heels come down, it's actually easier. You have to really use your core, and then we see if we can extend the right leg forward with the arms outstretched. If you're on the toes, you can still have a go, but it's going to be way more unstable and wobbly. But it is possible. I'm doing it there. But maybe you fall. Just enjoy the exploration, and then come back to the center. Nice try, Rosa. Okay, we have to just lose our ego with these things and just kind of go for it like a child would. And then if you can come onto the heels, do so. If you can't, with as much control as possible, we're just going to sit our thumbs down. It's a bit of fun. Okay, it's actually, I say it's a bit of fun, but it's super good for strengthening the legs. If you want to, especially the inner thighs, that little sequence. Okay, so we'll come to a seated forward fold. Let's reground. So just find your Dandasana, pressing through the heels, toes to the ceiling. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Hinge from the hips if you can. Inhale, lengthen, look up. Exhale, fold. So hands can be on the legs, wherever they meet, or maybe the feet. Maybe even be on the feet, don't force though. Keep the feet active and flexed. Drop the head. Just let the heart rate settle again, let the mind settle again. When we do something that we've never done before or don't do very often, and spin us out of it, get us into the head stories, fear. So just settle, let the heart beat slow. Again, how quickly can we come back to our center? And what are our tools? Anchoring the mind on the breath is a great tool. Feeling your foundations, in this case, the whole of your legs and buttocks and sit bones and feet, connecting to the earth, maybe parts of your arms or hands. And inhale, look up, open the front body, and exhale, release, come back. And from here, we're going to draw the right foot in and bring it to the outside of the left knee. Keeping that left leg active, so the left toes up to the ceiling. Try to anchor down your right big toe. Hold your right knee with your left hand as you take the right hand behind you, and either stay here or inhale, stretch up through the left arm, exhale, twist by hugging the knee into the elbow cup or pressing the elbow to the outside of the thigh. Looking over or towards your right shoulder, lifting up through the spine, breathing nice and deep. Exhale, unwind. We're just going to do this. Just need to check the time. Yeah, in stages. So we're going to lean to the left and bend the left knee and face you, so that your left heel is towards the outside of the right hip. You might want to sit up on a block at this point. If that's not available, you can just keep the lower leg extended as well and just repeat what we just did. But otherwise, we're going to go into the same twist, but in this leg position. So your right foot's on the floor to the outside of your left knee with the big toe pressing down. Inhale, stretch up through the left. Exhale, twist towards the bent leg. Some of you might need to bring the right foot to the other side of the left knee if it feels too much to the outside. So bring it to the inside, the shin side of the left leg. Or keep that bottom leg extended. Just repeat. Again, lifting through the spine, breathing deep. And exhale, unravel, come back to the center. And again, you can stay in the first position with the lower leg extended, or the second position with the left leg bent, or we can start to come into Gormakasana leg. So I like to lift the hips at this point, but we're bringing the right heel towards the outside of the left hip. So the knees are stacked, the thighs are stacked. Or we're in that same position with the right foot either side of the left knee, and the left leg may still be extended. So just take it as far as you want, kind of building it up each time. If the soles of the feet are available, take the hands to the palms of the hands to the soles of the feet, draw the shoulders back, open the chest, draw the chin in, or just fingertips on the floor if you're in another foot position. Ground, where's your anchor point here? If your buttocks and sit bones aren't meeting the floor, use a block. Better to feel that feedback of the floor or the support, so we have an anchor point to lift the spine away from. Connect to your breath. And then from here, we're going to inhale, raise the hands. and take Kali Mudra. So we have the palms together. You can just keep the palms together, but if it works, cross all the fingers and the thumb except the index finger. So index finger points up, everything else crosses, and then we stretch the index finger up as we drop the tailbone down. We draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Breathe here, feeling the spine stretch in 2 directions. And then we're going to keep the left elbow raised, dropping the left fingertips down the spine. Use a strap in your left hand if you know you're going to need it. Right fingertips can pull up and push down on the left elbow, or right hand out to the side, palm faces behind you. Draw that right elbow into the side, as closely to the side as possible, and then wriggle the right fingertips up the spine. So maybe meet the left fingertips, maybe meet the strap, or maybe just hold on to your top, or just stay with the first position with the right fingertips on the left elbow. Lift the chin, open the left armpit. Breathe deeply into your upper back, your shoulders. Beautiful. And then at the end of the exhale, release. If you need to ease your shoulders in any way, do. We're just going to do one more thing here. We're going to bring the palms together in front of us. Inhale, open and stretch wide. Exhale, bring your left arm on top of the right and either hug opposite elbow or wrap into Garudasana arms here. Lifting the elbows in line with the shoulders, pressing the hands forward away from the face. If you're holding opposite shoulder, draw the chin in. If you're in Garudasana, there's more of a kind of lifted chin feel. Either way, nice, yeah. Bringing the breath into the upper back, broadening the shoulder blades, stretching the trapezius muscles on the top of the shoulders, and with the breath. And exhale, release. Well done. Okay, so same little sequence on the other side. Just lean back to unravel the legs, and maybe you just need to straighten both legs and give them a bit of movement here. And then we're going to bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee. Again, right foot's active, toes to the ceiling, and left big toe tries to seal to the floor as best as possible. And then holding the knee of the right hand, left hand behind you. Inhale, stretch up through the right arm. Exhale, twist from the navel towards the bent leg, looking over your left shoulder. Maybe pressing the elbow to the outer thigh, resisting with the outer thigh. Breathing deep. Exhale, unravel. So you can stay here and just repeat, or we lean to the right, bend the right knee to bring the right foot to the outside of the left hip. And at this point, we might need to sit on some kind of support block or folded blanket to feel the sit bones still connecting to the floor. If it's too much for the left foot to be on the outside of the right knee, try the inside. Okay, and then again twist. So right elbows to the outside or on the left knee, left arm behind you, left hand behind you, lift up through the spine, exhale, twist. Ujjayi breath if you can. Anchor the mind on the breath. And at the end of the exhale, unwind, unravel, come back to the center. And again, you can stay here. This is kind of your limit. So feeling this on the outer hip, stay there. Otherwise, start that journey of trying to bring the left foot towards the outside of the right hip. A little tip here is that the higher up the thighs that the thighs are crossed, the tighter you get into this and the better it feels. So that's why I like to kind of take my weight forward, squeeze the inner thighs towards each other as high up the thighs as possible and sit myself back down. And it's really like glued into position. Otherwise, doing what you can here if the soles of the feet are available, hands to feet, shoulders back, dropping down through your anchor, sit bones, the base of the pelvis, the tailbone, crown of the head stretching away in the other direction. Maybe just slightly drawing the lower belly in. Feel that support deep at your center. So we ground and we center and we connect to the breath. And then we can inhale to raise the hands, Kali Mudra. If you can work it out, put the other little finger and the other thumb on the outside. If that blows your mind, don't worry. Index finger stretching up, shoulders drawing down, sit bones dropping, tailbone dropping, lower belly drawing in, pelvic floor gently lifting without losing any of that downward grounding. Spine stretching in 2 directions, deep breaths. This time, keep the right elbow lifted, drop the right fingertips down the spine, use your left fingertips on the front of that elbow, right elbow to pull, pull up and push down, stay there, or release the left arm out to the side, palm behind you. Bring that left elbow as close into the side as possible, and then take your fingertips up the spine. Find your strap, your fingertips, your material. Lift the chin, open the right armpit, and breathe deep. Feel the breath in your upper back, between the shoulder blades. And then release. Ease out however you need. Bring the palms together in front of you. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, right arm on top of left. Hug the opposite shoulder and draw the chin in, or Garudasana arm wrap. Lifting the chin, lifting the elbows so they're in line with the shoulder, pressing the hands away from the face. And again, feel your breath between your shoulder blades. Feel the inhale widen and broaden the shoulder blades. Well done. Easing the shoulders. So we're going to come out, do a time check. We'll come back down onto our backs. So we've done a very shallow peak today. Hardly, I don't think we got to standing, and that's a big thing sometimes. So back down to the ground. That seems to be my favourite place this evening. And just keep the knees bent. So we'll do a back bend, but seeing as we've got a little bit more of a kind of grounding, gentler theme, you might want to use a brick today. If you're feeling like you've got loads of energy to burn and you want to be more dynamic, then you're going to take Setu Bandhasana for 5 breaths and maybe push up to the wheel or onto the head for another 5 breaths. Okay, so, or we're going to take a good 10 breaths with this block on any of its 3 heights underneath our sacrum, with the knees either bent or straight. Okay, so if you're coming into the restorative, just get yourself set up properly so that the sacrum meets the top of the block and you feel really stable. Don't let the block be on the spine, so it's just above the buttocks. Or we're doing it dynamically with the heels to the buttocks, palm down, pressing through the hands and the feet to lift the hips, maybe interlacing the hands underneath the back. So find your way into your back bend of choice. And when you're there, 1 or 2 breaths, taking some nice, slow, deep breaths. So if you're on the block, you're just going to stay there for the whole back bend part of the class. If you're being dynamic, you might want to come down between rounds, set yourself up for a deeper back bend and go up again, or just repeat Setu Bandhasana again. If you're being in the supported back bend, really just relax into the support of your block. Let your shoulders relax, let your chest passively open. So just feeling what's right for your body. Quality of breath. Those the dynamic back bend, just when you're ready to come out, just slowly roll out from the upper back to the lower back. If you're on the block, you can stay there for a few more breaths. If you're still feeling really good there, it's good to take a bit longer. Those who've been in Sati Bandhasana or wheel. Just come down, relax the sacrum, discharge any excess energy out through the sacrum and the soles of the feet. Just going to breathe here for a few more breaths, just to allow those on the block to just have a few more breaths to drop into their passive back bend. Okay, if you're on a block, just start to think about coming off. So to come off, you're going to need to press through the legs, bend the legs, press through the legs a little bit to lift the hip, remove the block, and gently wind the spine down onto the floor. So we all end up in the same position with the knees bent and the soles of the feet really open and spreading, the sacrum really open and spreading, the shoulder blades open and spreading. And we ground through feeling these points of contact between our body and the floor. And we discharge any excess nervous energy elicited by the back bend out of our body and into the air, feeling it just draining out of us with each exhale, releasing the skin of the back into the floor. Relax the belly, just take a few more belly breaths here. Enjoying releasing your body, your spine, the sacrum, the shoulder blades into the floor. Back of the head heavy. So we're just going to close with some just nice grounding closing postures, nice and easy. So first of all, just to counter the back bend, stretch the legs up into the air, reach the arms overhead, find that capital L, flex the feet. Maybe you want to bring the feet as close to the head as possible, bending the knees if you need, but we're just really opening the back of the legs here, keeping the sacrum on the floor, so we also open the spine. And then from here, bend the knees, bring the hands forward and give yourself a hug, hugging the front of the knees or the back of the knees. Maybe at this point, a little rock side to side could feel quite lovely, or a little circle on the sacrum, a few circles in each direction. Nice, slow, deep breaths. You can let Ujjayi breath go, or let it be very gentle at this point. It could be more belly breath, relaxed breath, but still conscious breathing. And then we're going to hold on to the right knee, extend the left knee out. So we've been here already this evening. This time we're going to take the cross twist with the leg bent. So use your left hand to the outside of the right knee, draw it across the body, keeping the knee bent, reach the right arm out in the opposite direction and look over your right shoulder. You can rest your right foot on your left leg, or it might reach the floor or a block, a bolster, close to the floor but not quite there. And just take some nice, slow, deep breaths. And only if it feels good, option to do cat's tail here. You could also bend the left knee, so the left heel comes towards the buttock, and reach the right hand down, and you might find the top of the left foot with the right hand. And then we try and drop the right shoulder down to the floor and release the left arm down to the floor. So ideally, if we're in cat's tail, the whole of the upper back is on the floor now. And you can also option straighten the right leg and find the right foot with the left hand. Again, trying to keep the right shoulder blade down. All optional. Otherwise, just stay in the first position. Simple cross twist. Take a few more slow, deep breaths here. Releasing breaths. And then we're going to release the left foot. If we have the left foot, just gently release that left leg. Left foot, gently release the right foot if you've got it, and rebend the right knee. Straighten the left leg, roll back to the center. Come right back to central alignment. Feel the sacrum and the spine and the shoulder blades evenly on the floor. You might feel like a full body stretch feels good. And then we're going to draw the left knee in towards the chest, pushing out through the right leg. Breathing into that. And then take your right hand to the outside of the left leg, with the knee bent, rolling to the right. So just let that left knee come over to the right. Let your right leg roll passively with you. Rest the left foot on the right leg or the floor or on a block if you can. Support it if you can. Reach the left arm away to begin with and look over that left shoulder. So we really get that lovely opening around the left chest and shoulder. Breathe deep. And then we can stay here, or we can include these extra variations if we wish. So if you want to go for cattail, bend the right knee, so the right heel moves towards the buttocks, reach the left hand down. If you feel like you're going to cramp your hamstrings, just skip this. And try to let the left shoulder blade stay connected to the floor. That's the tricky thing with cat's tail, especially if we then add the final variation, which is to straighten the left leg, reach the right arm out so that maybe the right hand finds the left foot. So we're doubly bound. Then it can be quite tricky, but we want to try and drop the left shoulder blade back into the mat so the chest is facing up towards the ceiling. So we've either got no foot binds, 1 foot bind, or 2 foot binds. And none of those are better or worse than any other. Find what's right for you. Couple more slow, deep breaths. Now, if you've got the right foot, cat's tail, release the right foot and straighten the right leg. If you've got the left foot, release that foot, bend the left leg, and then use your core, slowly roll yourself back to the center. Straighten the left leg, really centralize again through the spine and the pelvis. Take a big full body stretch. And then take happy baby. This is going to be our inversion. Knees towards the armpits, holding what you can hold here. Slow, deep breath. I'll just give it a few more breaths to get the benefits of having the legs in the air. So ideally kind of around 10 breaths or so. And happy baby, Linda, that's it. So bringing the knees towards the armpits. Holding the feet or the back of the knees, that's it. Yeah, got it. Ideally about 10 breaths. And we're basically going to go straight into Shavasana, but it can be nice after happy baby to draw the knees together and just give yourself that one last little hug, more of a kind of bringing the energy in feeling, and then just drop yourself straight into Shavasana, the ultimate grounding posture. We can't really get closer to the floor than Shavasana. So just allow yourself to settle, being warm until it's winter. Everybody's getting the socks and jumpers on. Hats, scarves, everything, blankets. Get yourself cozy. And then just really, again, just before we totally drop into Shavasana, just feel those points of contact again. Just simply being aware of them is proven to help us embody, ground, center, be present. So just feel the back of the head, every part of your body that's solidly connected to the floor, the tips of the shoulder blades, the elbows, the heels, the buttocks, and any other part of the back of your body. Become acutely aware of those points of contact. Encourage as much of the back of your body as possible to connect with the floor. Melt the skin into the floor. And then just allow yourself to let go. 2 or 3 minutes, total relaxation here. No effort. And then, as always, you have longer, take longer in Shavasana. Give yourself that gift. If you are ready to close with me at the end of the class, just deepening your breath, bringing movement back to the body, fingers, toes, stretching however feels good. And rolling to one side, gradually returning to seated, or just staying exactly as you are if you feel the body asking you, I want a bit longer, please. If you're closing with me, maybe just bringing the palms together. Feel your seat locating you in space and time in your body, and just take one more conscious breath to carry this grounded, centered, conscious presentness into the rest of your evening. And when you feel ready, opening the eyes again. Thank you for practicing with me this evening. Namaste. See you soon.